Howdy. Welcome to my shop. My name's Ron and I'll be your host for the next 10 minutes or so. Being a fourth generation carpenter, wood is that's my language. It's my living, it's my hobby, it's my passion. One of those passions is making stocks. I've never had any formal training in this. I just wanted to put a piece of wood on a gun one day, and I seemed like that'd be a pretty unique challenge, so I tried it, and been going at it ever since. But honestly, I owe a lot of my success to my customers, my friends that have suggested this or that, different ways of doing it to produce a better outcome. And so I appreciate them. I owe them a great deal. The finish that I use was suggested by a friend of mine that owns a gun shop in Georgia, a guy named Dan. I've been friends with him for many years, and I owe him for that knowledge. So I don't suggest that my way is the only way. That's just not the case. I picked up my abilities to do this from watching other people and seeing other things and then figuring out how to do that. So it's a process. Some ways are better, cleaner, faster. They require less effort. On and on it goes. And I'm open to learning new and better ways. I'm always looking for that. My grandfather used to say, never let a day go by that you don't learn something. So when I do, I'll often look up, thanks, Pop, because no matter how old you get, you still need to be learning new things. So come on in, see what's going on today. Eventually that'll get rounded over a teeny bit, just a little bit. There are no sharp edges on guns except for on the inside where the receiver is protecting that. You don't want sharp edges because they get dinged real easily. See this little sharp edge here, that'll be smoothed over. Same thing on this side. Alright, I've got square edges now. I still have my center line. I'm still about even from the sides to the center, both sides to the center. I have this cut out area where the trigger guard goes, and I'm about even from the edge of the trigger guard to the side. So I'm about symmetrical there. Now I'm gonna make this round on the bottom. You want to be careful, not dig the nose of that plane into your wrist. This has only been rasped, so it's not finished. You still don't want to put any gouges in it. I might have to stop pushing before long because there's two little places right there, three of them, that it's roughing up on a push stroke. I still got to take a lot more wood off, so it's not a big problem, but I can't keep pushing there, I'll fuzz it up. It's chattering. Right now my main concern is from the wrist to the front of the magazine there. This plane does such a good job of keeping things fair. I mentioned the spoke shave and a draw knife, and I'm not going to use them much, but I'm going to show you what they are. This is a spoke shave, and it can be push, but it's mainly a pull instrument. fast. Because a plane is so long front to back, this is called the sole of the plane, because it's longer, it makes a smoother transition. It doesn't do ups and downs. This little sole is only 3/4 of an inch long. You can do curved objects with that. You can dip things out, and you can do it when you don't want them dipped out. And so that's the downside of a spoke shave. But the upside is it's a very efficient tool. You pull it, and because it's a pull tool, it's more efficient than a push tool. This is a bigger muscle than this. Your bicep is bigger and stronger and more control in pulling than your tricep is at pushing. That's a spoke shave. This is another kind of a spoke shave. This is a very efficient little tool. All these are antiques. This is just a different type. This is actually a Miller Falls, good brand, rosewood handles, sharp as a razor, and it can really roll off some wood. Of course, you can adjust it to cut, but it'll really, if you know how to use this, you can really remove some wood in a hurry. It's actually kind of good for getting in these curved areas like around this wrist, because it's round on the bottom. Then I have my shadows. That's about as much as I can do with plane. Because this is starting to chatter in here, that's about as much as I can do with anything that actually cuts. What I'm going to have to do now is swap it for sandpaper, which is a block. Blocks don't chatter. This 50 grit is so aggressive though, you can actually shape with it. Which is what I'm doing now. I'm still shaping. Give you a close-up of this before I start so you can see it before and after. I don't think you can see it very well from here. See those little chatter marks right in there? That comes from cutting with the plane. See those chatter marks right there? There's no way you can get it any smoother than that with something that cuts. You have to sand that out. That's when you know you're done with cutting. When your chatter marks get about deep enough where you're at level. There's a little square edge. Right in here. There's a square edge that I'm going to stay away from like the plague. How about that? More better? This little edge right here, on both sides. I'm going to stay away from that thing for now. It'll get around it eventually, but for now that's going to be a fence that I don't cross. You can see the shadows if I put that light in the right place, and so can I, because that's what I go by, is the shadows. That square edge I'm talking about stops there at the front of the magazine. Right here I'm going to start rounding that square edge over. See, the shape of this thing changes from here to here, and then it tapers in and goes, instead of being flat on the bottom, it goes to being rounded on the bottom. And it's a transition place right here, just like it is back here at the wrist. There's some grain on this forearm, on the bottom flat of it. It looks like a topo map of a mountain in Virginia. It's got a little round knob there and a little lead right there. It looks just like a topo map. That's beautiful. As that gets sanded more and more, that's going to show up more and more and more. It's going to be so pretty. Guns like that, I hate to even checker them because it covers stuff like that up. I'll just put checkering on the sides. I'm not going to put it on the bottom of this. If you'll remember, I took all my surfaces down that touched where wood touched metal. The trigger guard is metal, the wood is around here where it touched it. I took a chisel and I cut it down, just kind of pared it off around the back of the tang and around the receiver and all. Everywhere wood touched metal, I took that down with a chisel. It's still got those little chisel marks in it. I left enough of it sticking up to where I could sand that off smooth. Once the chisel marks are gone, it'll be down to the metal in those areas. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got a really nice straight block here. This is a sanding block. I've got some 150, some real good sharp 150. And keep equal pressure on both sides of this. It's like a train track, a wheel on this side and a wheel on this side. I'm looking at my cut marks with this light. I've got it right over me, and I can see those little chisel marks. Still just a few left. I don't dwell on those few. I keep equal pressure on both sides. But I look at the worst one. I'm watching the very worst one. But I'm keeping equal pressure on both sides. When that worst one is gone, I'm done. Well, thanks for choosing to spend your time here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this program. I'll try to post a new segment each weekend. In addition, if you'd like to read about a stock that I made, and then it took a 20-foot free fall, click on the link at the bottom of this page. It's called The Broken Gun. It's a story I wrote a few years ago about my two boys. Sometimes life's hard and things get broken. Now and then we get a chance to fix them. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I had to repair this broken stock. It led to a restoration that I never could have imagined. As always, if you like this video, please click the like button and share this with your friends. Have a great day.